Okay, let me just start a new track. Mute that old one. Go back. All right, I'm good whenever.
I'm good.
All right.
In 3. I should. Are we streaming?
Yeah.
All right.
We've been streaming for the last 15 minutes, and Jesse's like, "Screw you guys, I'm just
All right.
going."
No, I started it when you started the new track. So 20 seconds.
Very cool. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 154, recorded live on November 9th, 2017. On tonight's episode, we discuss the huge Xenoblade 2 Direct that Nintendo dropped this week, Hulu, and maybe other streaming services have finally come to the Switch, and lots more. Zach, cue the music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Dads Podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is November 9th, 2017. Joining me tonight, and he does not have time for your nonsense, is Justin Masson. What's going on tonight, Justin?
Nothing much. I don't. It is this morning. It's 4:40 in the morning for me on a Friday. You jerk. Yeah, I don't have time for your nonsense.
Do they have to do they actually say top of the morning over there? Is that
No? They say, "Well, boy."
really like in the morning?
That's yeah. It's like, "Well, boy, how are you now?"
Wow, right on.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. And I usually say, "Well, boy, how are you, eh?" Speaking of good boys, joining us as well, Jesse Waldeck, King of VG Tribune. Going on. Dot going on. That's the new URL. Dot going on.
Going on.
Does that mean I have to buy that domain now?
Yeah,
you
does.
do.
How do you spell that?
We'll figure it out. I don't know. Speaking of figuring it out, from the land of the South, on a quest of 24 hours of extra life streaming goodness, Marty Estes. What's going on, Marty?
I'm already so tired.
No.
And you've only been doing this for 5 hours so far, haven't you?
No, I actually am super excited. I'm super pumped about what's gonna happen over the next few hours, and I'm hoping that it is not like there's not some YouTube video on our channel tomorrow of 5 hours of Mario standing in one place while I'm snoring into a microphone.
Well, Mario
One of my favorite
passes out on his keyboard in the chat. It says Z. That would
One
be
of my
funny.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is that you posted this video, and you also, I saw it over your shoulder, was that huge tub of cheese balls that you had was just like right within arm's reach, and I was like,
well, yeah,
yes, fuel.
It's a 5-pound tub of cheese balls I bought from Sam's back in December,
and they're still good.
And they're still good.
Those things don't expire, dude. Those things are
look, I'm telling you, if you ever light them on fire, they're combustible.
Okay, they're
Super.
good kindling for the apocalypse. They're just, you got to be prepared. So, right on. Well, we've got
camping trips.
Yeah, right on. Well, we got a lot to talk
and
about.
it's kindling at the same time.
All right, so let's. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into the news, shall we? And the news is brought to you by patreon.com/NintendoDads, oh my gosh, my brain's not working, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and help make this nonsense continue forever. We blame you, Patreon patrons. But we have more people who we can hold responsible, Marty. Who can we hold responsible this week?
More and more every week, thank God. We've got 4 new patrons this week.
If we can disperse the blame, then that's awesome. So
that's
what do
right. We've got 4 new patrons this week, and so we want to say huge thanks to Andre Gershvind, Gear Alstad, Derek Hansen, and Holden Moffat, who is actually he's kind of new. He's rejoining us after a while, and so we're thankful to you for helping us create even more Nintendo Dads content. You are awesome.
Absolutely. And the prodigal son returning. Welcome back, Holden. Yeah, we miss you. And also huge thank you, a special thank you to pronouncenames.com for their also support of our previous segment. So thank you for that.
We want to pronounce people's names right.
Yeah.
And and you have made me the person who does this. And I'm also from the deep South, as you say. And so sometimes Us good old country bumpkins, we need a little help pronouncing all them dang hard names. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen those 4 letters without vowels ever before.
Yeah,
together ever before.
Yeah,
but we appreciate.
I hope I did
way.
okay. Now we're gonna get a tweet or something that's like, "You butchered my name," and then you just blame me. You say he's from the South.
Yeah, we'll get
There
that.
you know they don't know anything down there. There you
We'll
go.
get the Patreon exit survey, and it'll just say, "Did not." It'll be like that one guy who said that he was tired of the hate from Sonic fans or whatever, and so he quit out. Except this one was just that you wrote his name. Yeah. Anyway, so
before we jump into it, I want to do one thing. So Marty, you're doing Extra Life right now. Okay,
I am doing. I want
to talk about Extra Life really quickly. We've had some other people on our team who've been doing Extra Life. Mike BC is doing Extra Life. Tim did Extra Life. Thank you very much. Tim did a fantastic job this last weekend fundraising. So did Mike recently. Marty, obviously you are in your campaign right now, and Marty, I want to help. I want to help incentivize to get you to the next level. What are you at currently?
Let's go and take a look at Ye Old Extra Life tally board.
Yeah.
$390.
$390. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Marty. I want to help the kids, and I want to help you, and I want to make the show a little sexy. So here's what I'm going to do, Marty. I'm going to do this. If we can reach very little sexy. If we can reach $410 during the show, this top comes off. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Take the top off. I'm going to broadcast the
$410, and we are one step closer to the Nintendo Dad's holiday calendar.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Good thing the majority of our audience are audio.
So as that comes in live, I will take this off. So it's live on the YouTube stream. I will do the rest of the show. Updated. No shirt.
So here's the thing. Here's the for $20, you can know the mystery of whether or not Justin Masson has a third nipple.
Yeah.
It is that $20, people.
How hairy am I?
Yeah. You know what?
I'm just going to pull up my email and start refreshing right now.
Amazing. That $20, and that's what it's going to get you, people.
Yeah,
so
help you out.
Reminds me of the question I had when we played Use Your Words a few days ago with some of the patrons, and I had something you'd see at a nudist colony or something, and I said excessive amounts of back hair.
That could be.
And my answer was vomiting.
Yeah, right on. Hang on, I gotta write something real quick. I'm trying to write this and also host at the same time, so I'm just gonna read this out loud as I write it. If we get somebody to donate $20 to Marty's Extra Life
right now,
this is getting tweeted now.
Masson 23 will take off his shirt.
Broadcast the rest of the episode shirtless, and then for another 20, I'll put it back on. You're welcome.
Listen, if it's good for Greg Miller, it's good for Nintendo Dad.
So what if someone gives us 40?
It's all dad bod.
Oh no, dude!
It's just 40. 40 is just a sign of just don't even bother.
No, it's basically what this is it's like strip poker, but it's strip donate, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
$20 increments. He's only going to have it from under here, from like the waist down or whatever, or waist up. Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, I'll even like adjust my camera a bit, so it's a lot of this, ladies.
Yeah, and so there you go. That's good times. All right, so let's get into the news, shall we? With all of that. So what we have today, I think real quick, I think this just happened today. Hulu is now on. The reason I'm kind of rushing through this story is because I'm Canadian and Hulu doesn't work up here. So Hulu for you filthy Yanks. I don't know. Is that a derogatory slur? It might be.
The way you just said it is.
Yeah. Filthy Yanks. I mean,
yeah, sure. Hulu now works in the United States. And so go and watch your Seinfeld and your whatnot, because you can do that now in the States. And have either of you guys tried that yet?
I'm downloading it as we speak, but okay. I've not been able to try it.
Okay. Yeah, so if you are able to...
Yeah, when that news hit this morning, because kind of like it did it, I think it was started on a Reddit, and then Twitter feed started mentioning it, just because it was mentioned in the normal weekly download Thursday morning Nintendo press release.
Yeah.
But in the bottom section where it says "and also releasing," 20 items, and Hulu was like 5th from the bottom.
Yeah, they really made this
buried
like
it.
no
fanfare whatsoever to let it be known. So yeah, that was very interesting.
Well, the interesting thing about it to me is why Hulu first?
Yeah,
why not Netflix?
Well, especially since I think I heard that that Netflix had basically had it done for a while. I just read this on a random thing somewhere. I don't even remember.
No one
so
probably told them that they can submit now. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But Netflix is I expect that we're going to see Netflix pretty soon too, and like YouTube. I would like to have YouTube on here too. You know, like a few things like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Can I? Maybe I'm the minority. I see zero desire in this whatsoever. I don't want Netflix on my Switch. I don't want Hulu on my Switch. I don't want YouTube on my Switch. I've got enough devices that already do that.
I'm the same way. Yeah, not only other devices that'll do that, but they'll do it better. Yeah,
so I mean, if I'm traveling somewhere, I'm not going to take my Switch. Like I always travel with my Switch, and my iPad, anyways. Like, so why am I going to?
The thing
is, how much of a drain on the battery is that going to be?
Well, the thing is, though, is that like for some people too, though, I know that there are some people who only keep certain. Like for my family specifically, we have we use the Blu-ray player that is plugged into the TV, and we also have, and that is the only device that's plugged into the TV that has Netflix on it.
Yeah.
And
hey, Justin, we need to stop right here.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find.
Hang on. Wait.
I'm just playing shirts versus skins.
I'm going to make sure that we're above board here. We have just made it to $415 from a donation from the mysterious 33.
Yes.
Of $25. So Justin.
All right, shirt off, folks. Here we go.
Hang on. Where are we?
What are you doing, Zach?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I thought you were going to have some audio cue ready.
Oh, here we go.
Cold.
There it is.
Very cold. Very cold.
And this is why his avatar is Donkey Kong.
How cold is it in Ireland right now?
It's very cold. It's very cold in this room. All right. This is cool.
Does that mean that we only need $15 more
for the back? Yeah, I think so.
Is this why your avatar is Donkey Kong?
Oh yeah, because it's all for those of you that are listening to the to the audio version, it's Canadian fur. Let me tell you, folks.
Nice. It's a nice fur coat. Very, very nice. Miracles do happen, people. So thank you. That was for the children, Justin.
It was for the children. Yeah.
That was for the children.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right. So what I was going to say though is that every time before I was distracted by your manliness, we have a TV that we probably could just buy like an HDMI switcher, but we have the cable box plugged into one HDMI port, and we have the Switch plugged into the other one. And when we want to watch Netflix or Blu-ray, we have to unplug the Switch and plug in the Blu-ray right now, which is super annoying. I would love to be able to watch Netflix on the Switch for that very reason. It's one less reason to switch them back and forth. So
yeah, I have an 8-port HDMI switch that is full, not including the cable box. The cable box has an input, and then the HDMI output switch has an input. So I have 9 devices on my TV. 4 or 5 of them can do this.
Yeah. See, but the thing is that it's not. I guess my argument would be that Netflix has a vested interest in being on every single platform, which is what they do. Frankly, that's why it's so ubiquitous and why this doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. But it's just as beneficial for them to be on the Switch than to not be, right? Like it would be better for them to be there.
See, so. I'm hearing you guys say that this is not good to be on the Switch, and I'm sitting over here going, I was just on a business trip for the last 3 days, and I had my iPad and I had my Switch, but my Switch was the only one that I could plug up to the TV. And do I want to hold my iPad and watch a show on Hulu, or do I want to put it on the TV where I've got the Switch hooked up and me and my wife can both watch it, and I get to keep my iPad and I get to, check emails or whatever else, So I mean, I get it. I think that there's a purpose and a reason behind it, but like for me, it makes sense because we're able to free that device up. You know, of course, now it's shattered in the middle of the road, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
And it's different in how everyone uses their streaming tech differently. The shows I watch, no one else cares about. So if I'm watching something on the big TV, I'm the only one in the room anyway. So I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine watching it on my iPad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, maybe it's just me. I just did not find the value in it. But I'm glad that other people do. I don't. I mean, it's kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't find value in that either. But yet they did a direct about it.
They did another direct about it.
That's called Segue.
Look, by the way, Justin, if it seemed like I was stalling earlier, it's because I was looking for a particular song for you and I couldn't find it. But I found it. So here you go. All right, I'm not going to play the whole thing or we're going to get nailed for copyright.
What? Did you not like my dance in there? Is that what's going on?
Oh, yeah, here, dude. There, yeah. You go right there. There you go. Yep, that's the thing.
He's got it going on there.
I think Brandman in the chat has it summed up. How am I supposed to take Justin seriously?
No, you're not. That's the whole point.
For $15,
Brandman, I want to stop you right there. If you've come to this podcast for seriousness, sir, I think you have stumbled into the wrong room.
Brandman, may I suggest that for $15 you can take him seriously again?
Ooh.
No. Hey, wait. So is it like every $15 now or $20 or whatever?
No. I think it was just a one and done.
Yeah.
So there's no going back. This we're committed for the long haul. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Hey, you know what? This is.
I like Tim's comment. Careful, it gets cold. You might cut glass on your iPhone.
Yeah. Hey, man. All right. So let's talk about the Xenoblade Direct, gentlemen. Honestly, there wasn't like. It seems like every really big, or not every really big, but like a lot of the big releases from Nintendo, they release within the month before, they always have that direct for. Yeah, I mean they did this with Mario Odyssey. They did this with a lot of stuff where there's a direct that either there's a game or there's a direct dedicated to it, or they have a fairly large portion of a direct dedicated to a particular game. Like they did that with Odyssey, right? So Xenoblade, that's basically what this was that it was like a 15-minute game trailer where they outline all of the game systems and so like it having played Xenoblade Chronicles X previously, it seems like this game it seems like they've taken a lot of the battle mechanics of that game and from Xenoblade Chronicles, which is on the Wii and the 3DS and the Wii U eShop, on Virtual Console. And it seems like they've basically they polished that up, and they've also added what I would call like a persona mechanic almost, like where you've got different, they've got all the different kinds of blades that you can now do. So it's like a Pokemon gotta catch 'em all kind of mechanic as well. So I don't know. Am I the only one who's interested in this game? Like it seems like like the rest of you are not interested in this.
Like when I look at the game visually and like world wise, like I love it. Like I like the art style. It looks engaging. That world and exploring seems fun. But then you just lay that battle system over it, and it loses me absolutely immediately.
So I'm gonna kind of piggyback on that, Marty, because that's really what my experience was too. So I've always looked at the Xenoblade, like this is about the fourth game, right? In different like they had one of the Wii, the 3DS, the Wii U. What was the Wii U one called?
The 3DS one was the Wii.
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay, because Zach, you reviewed that. I remember looking at that. I was like, it looks like a game I'd like to give a crack to. I'd like to give it a go, give it a shot. But I had a bunch of other games that just kind of got pushed off. Right, I didn't pick it up, but I was like, I remember thinking myself, if I find that on sale, yeah, I'm going to grab that one. Right, I want to play it, but I just don't have time right now.
Yeah.
So with this, when the game was announced and I saw the trailer, I was like, this, you know what? Yeah, I really want to play this series. I'm going to jump into it. This seems like a great opportune time. I'm excited for this. I actually said this. I pre-ordered it on Amazon.uk here, whatever it is, to have it shipped over. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I think they put out a direct or not a direct, a mini direct with some more information in it, and started seeing some of the gameplay features. And I saw
this one. Yeah.
I saw the battle features that Marty was talking about, like the overlay and all that stuff. And I was like, whoa, this is way too much for me. This is way deeper than this looks like looks to be too complex for me, for like the kind of gameplay mechanic that I like. And so I actually canceled my pre-order for it. But everything else about it, like the cutscenes look good, the story looks great, the animation looks great, but the amount of the level of complexity for me, I don't think I'd find enjoyable. And the other thing that I thought about was, I have so much still going on in 2017 of games that I haven't fully finished, right? That I haven't really wrung the life out of, so to say, right? Like I've still got more I can do in Breath of the Wild. We know there's a DLC pack coming. I've still got another 400 moons to collect in Odyssey, Rabbids DLC. Like there's so much content that I think if it was a year where it was a drought, then I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna suffer through that. But for me, yeah, I was like, I don't know. The only exciting thing that came out of the direct for me was the Breath of the Wild Rex costume exploration. But I'm happy that other people are happy for this. But man, maybe it's just me. And I'd love to be told that I'm wrong and that it's not that complex. But it felt like a lot.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And it definitely, having played the game, my hope, I think that the game, if it's like Xenoblade Chronicles and X and the Wii game and the Wii U game, my biggest hope for it is that they do a better job streamlining the system so that it's more intuitive and it makes more sense, because once it clicks, once that whole sort of battle system clicks, it's really fun. And it like you're waiting for this particular timer or whatever to go up, and then you hit this button, and like it feels really good, because when you have the timing right, you feel really powerful too, which is really cool. But especially Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, was not good at teaching you how to do that at all, right? Like it didn't, like it just kind of, it dumped a lot of it into like sort of basically like, go read the tutorial and then you'll learn how to do it. Like they never really did a great job teaching.
Read the in-game manual.
Yeah, like that's basically what it was. Like there's an actual, it's not literally like hit the home button and then go to the, like not that bad like on the 3DS or something, but there was like a portion of the game in the menu that was like a whole guide, which to be fair, like I'm pretty sure Mario and Rabbids did that too, and like a lot of games are guilty of doing that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I will say that like that battle system can be really, really fun once you figure it out. It's just that at least in those initial in those other two games, there was quite a steep curve on learning that. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, I never got a grasp of the combo system in the, when I tried playing the original game on both the Wii and the 3DS. I ended up buying both and never got far in them. And then, I'm like burned out on MMOs. I played EverQuest for literally like 12 years. And, the combat is basically a single player MMO style combat. It's, you engage into a battle and you sit there and auto swing at whatever timer they gives you. And then you trigger in your abilities to
all your cooldowns and stuff
to give you the boosts. Yeah, with all the cooldowns and whatnot. And that, I'm not interested in that.
So you like having that history and stuff, is it just because you've done that too much and you're just like, yeah, no thanks?
Yeah, I've done it too much. I was, in EverQuest, I was primarily an auxiliary backup person. I wasn't a combat. I mean, I wasn't a fighter. I wasn't a healer. I was just kind of the person in the background that helped everyone else do better. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the role I enjoyed the most. So this is like taking on that kind of like the warrior or the paladin type of mode, which I would never wanted to play.
Right. Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you bring up a great point there, Jesse. That this is probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a first party MMO, on on a Switch or from Nintendo, and I never thought about it that way. That it's a single player MMO, and it really is. And I think that's part of the turnoff too. Is like, you have this scene where like. And they showed this, I think it may have been in the E3, where they trailer E3 digital event where they had like 10 minutes of this game narrated by the old turtle. That was the point where it was just like, yeah, I'm done. But
see,
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even watch this direct. I had to catch, and it was partly because I was busy that day, but partly because there's no hype level whatsoever for this game. But just like they have this picture or this footage of your party members sitting there like wailing on this ankylosaurus looking dinosaur beast, and it's not even moving. Yeah. And it's like 10,000 damage, 20,000 damage, and I'm like, okay, if I go outside and I throw a stick and it hits my dog, the dog reacts. The dog moves.
See, that's this whole, I don't know, like I spent last weekend a lot of it watching some of the like panels from BlizzCon, which is like the big Blizzard fan convention where they talk all about their games and stuff. And like I watched the new World of Warcraft stuff. Like I was like, oh, this is making me want to go back in and play this. And then I saw this Xenoblade Direct, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This is going to scratch that itch. I actually really, I have played those enough, and I'm actually really excited to see this and get into it. And really sink my teeth into it, because this time of year, like, it always feels like this is about the time where I'm like, okay, I really am looking forward to sinking my teeth into something like this. And there's a particular sort of like with Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, I sunk in quite a bit of time into that game, but ultimately I never finished it because I didn't want to sit in front of my TV anymore, right? And like my house is just set up in a way that I couldn't lay in bed and play the gamepad because it wouldn't reach. And like for me now to think I'm going to be able to play this game on the go, lay in bed until stupid o'clock in the morning for several nights in a row and play it as much as I can. I'm really excited about this game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for me, at least. So,
did you finish Xenoblade Chronicles X?
I got to the part where you unlock your mech, which was like 30 hours into the game, and then I was like, oh yeah, I got this mech, and then I was like, okay, like this is still going, and I kind of fizzled out at that point. Part of my problem with Xenoblade Chronicles X was that it was it kind of fell into the mission structure of MMOs too, where it was like, here's an overworld and here's random Joe who wants you to go and get 5 blocks of ore and then come back. And I was like, oh, okay, like where's the story here? Like I kind of reached a point where I needed to grind a little bit, and like every level, like before you could unlock new story missions in the game, it would say, oh, you have to be this level, and you also have to have completed this many side quests. And I got to a point where I had to do like 5 side quests, and I kind of just like wandered around and was like, I don't know where to find this random material. Screw that. I kind of got frustrated with it. And also,
I think that goes with what I remember hearing from other podcasts. There's actually part of the manual helps you determine like where things are and things like that. There's a way to find out. It's just really not intuitive.
Yeah, it wasn't very intuitive at all. So, but yeah, like it was still really, really fun. And I feel like if I could have played it on the Switch, if I could literally transfer my save from that game onto my Switch, I would probably be spending a lot more time on it. I actually recently just had to order a new joystick replacement part for my gamepad because it doesn't work, and apparently it's just like a thing that happens a lot. So I'm waiting for that part. So, but I ordered it from China because it was super cheap, and so it could be like a month before the part even gets here. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
so Tim in the chat commented on something you said earlier. He said, "Stupid o'clock in the morning is what I stay up to when listening to the live podcast."
Nice.
Fair enough.
Because he's in Eastern time.
Nice. As well, what I going back to what you mentioned too, though, Justin, like it is interesting that they have put. You know, I did go in and play the Zelda DLC mission, free DLC mission. That was in today. Did anybody else do that?
I haven't done that yet,
but I want to.
Yeah. So
I haven't yet, and kind of don't care.
Is it like the other DLC missions? Is it just go to this point and find a treasure chest?
It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more than that, but not much. Instead of go to this location and it already is there, it is go to this location, stare up in the sky, and wait for a meteor to fall, and then go and where the meteor falls.
It's even worse.
Yeah, so it's here, I'll put a link in the chat. The one thing about this, I put a link in the chat in the Skype chat to my to a video that I posted on Twitter. My biggest problem with this armor, it's cool and I really like it, but the way that it works, the helmet is like one of those like underwater helmets that's behind his back, and it just clips into literally every shield that you wear, which looks like garbage.
Wow.
You see that?
Yeah.
It's where it literally where the shield like cuts right into the helmet there. That's not great. So I usually I was using an ancient shield, the little tiny one that like puts the hologram shield or whatever in front of you. It looks pretty good with that, but anyway, it's a cool little it's very accurate to the game, to the game that it is representing, but it's not, you also can't upgrade it in Breath of the Wild. So, and it's like 5 armor each, which is not,
I find it very interesting that they're using this kind of they use this DLC as kind of like a promotion for another game. I thought that was kind of interesting, actually. And it's maybe this idea of like, hey, if you like Breath of the Wild, you're going to like Xenoblade. But it just kind of felt a bit odd. I don't know. Like when you talk about
it is a little odd. It's a little off-putting, I think, to me. Like I'm not really sold on it. Like I don't see why this has to exist.
Yeah, you're using one of your like main stage, but at the same time, you've got a game that has I believe currently the highest attachment rate on the Nintendo Switch. Odyssey may have broken that to be like, hey, by the way, here's a mission, and by the way, did I tell you how awesome the other game is? So, like, can we expect in February maybe a side mission to find Yoshi's Woolly World pants and shirt and cap?
Please,
like,
no.
Yeah, I'll tell you yes, but that will be in Odyssey, not in Zelda.
Ah, interesting.
Right? See, so like I think that this is like I think it's cool because like for me, as I was doing that, and again being somebody who Xenoblade is appealing to, I was in Breath of the Wild and I was like, oh man, I forgot how much I like these big open world sort of this whole game. I actually, after getting that, I went back into Master Trials and tried to beat that final Trials piece that I still haven't beaten, which drives me crazy because if you've played that, I got all the way through until like the ice levels of the final Trials, and then I died, which it was about 45 minutes in, and I just about threw my Switch. But it was really fun to get back in there, and it made me think like, oh man, like just going and hunting for these things and seeing this armor and sort of whatever, it just added to the hype for me, actually. So yeah. It is weird, but it also, the armor doesn't look out of place in the game. Like it seems like it's fine. It's the kind of armor that would be in that game anyway. So it doesn't bother me at all. And it is the same kind of game, the same audience that would be interested in both. And to what you were saying, Justin, like I wouldn't be surprised if they had some like an Odyssey mission or an Odyssey world or something, or just different moons or whatever, where you go into Mario Odyssey and you do stuff with Yoshi or something, as part of the promo for the Yoshi game. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. So
I just want to call out Tim in the chat just said, nice vest, Justin. Robert's reply was made from real gorilla chest. Mm-hmm. Fair play. Yep. Fair play to you guys. Well done. Well done.
It's very authentic.
Yeah.
And right now, because it's so cold over there, he is playing a live version of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, guys. It's nipply here. It's very nipply. All for the kids. All for the kids.
Nice. Right on. So finally, we've got just a few other sort of updates that are coming. So we've got game updates again for Zelda. Golf Story got an update. Pixel Lines DX. What's that? Was there any content in that update?
Yeah, there's 100 new puzzles. 100 new puzzles, right, Jesse?
Yeah. There's 20 over like different countries. So the Japanese, different continents. So there's a Japan, there's an America, there's a United Kingdom, and I think in Australia. So 20 of each of that category, and then 20 of Christmas.
Nice. So that's in there. Go check that out. Snipper Clips.
Yeah, it's their second update. They added 20 Halloween ones, last month or 2 months ago.
Nice. So that's that one. Snipper Clips there's an update, but you can't buy the DLC yet. Is that right?
As of earlier, yeah. As of
DLC will be out today. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So there is an update you have to run for Snipper Clips, and then it shows on the splash screen. You can click on here to go to the DLC on the eShop. However, currently we clicked it this morning. There is no DLC on the eShop yet. So hopefully by the time that this is launched out, it should be out there.
Okay. So that's out there. And then, of course, there was also announced that an update to Fire Emblem Warriors is coming next week. I can't remember exactly what's in there. I think there is a new history mode map coming that is focused specifically on Rowan and wait a minute, what? Okay, so Rowan and Liana, who are the two blonde main characters of the game. There's a history mode map based on them. I'm also looking at this here. I think I must have missed this, but there is also a disrobe feature which is coming in this update. What does this say?
Did someone give them $20 too?
What? Okay, I'm not understanding. Okay, so there's some like new costumes coming, and okay. So as reported, if a character is hit by a weapon with the attribute Armor Piercer Blow, their defense and overall resistance lowers, and they enter a new state called Armor Break. If either of the twin leads, Rowan or Liana, are struck while in Armor Break, their outfits will drop off. So basically,
I don't know how I feel about that.
So we're turning into a Muso game?
Yeah, well, it is a Muso
game. Oh,
game.
true.
So.
Yeah, I didn't. Duh.
So like,
it makes sense then.
Yeah, I'll put this link in there so you can see it. It's not as bad as it sounds. It also adds new costumes as well. I think that honestly, what this is that they're adding more or less like battle damage, kind of, but their armor just falls off. Like, this is looking weird to me because it's like, oh well, now they're just like, they, instead of having armor, they have like, I don't know, like a weird like unitard thing or something. I don't know. It's weird. So we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me that they have like battle damage, right? Like sort of armor. They have that even in the artwork for Fire Emblem Heroes. And especially for some of the lady characters, they love to do that kind of thing where it's just like, oh, look, now you can see her underwear through her armor. So, there's a thing. John Blockman. Hey, guys, just tuning in. I know I'm a little late. How's everything? Yeah! Justin used the disrobe feature as well. So,
who was the other one I saw here? Adam said the exact same thing. Wait, what have I walked into here? And Chris' reply was, Adam, let's be honest, it's better if you don't know. Oh, that's great. Seriously, the chat is the best.
Just so you guys know, this is how we beat you at Extra Life.
And also,
it's the wrong Adam. It's not.
Not that. But also, if you appreciate what you're seeing, go over to Marty's. Go over to my Twitter, or I think Nintendo Dad's Twitter. Go over to the Marty's Extra Life stream and donate liberally. If you appreciate what is on screen right now. So
every $15, he takes it on and puts it on and takes it back off.
Chris White sent a tweet, said the Nintendo Dads are live and Justin Masson is shirtless and everything is right in the world. #DadBod.
Awesome.
Fair play to you.
Right on. So next up here we do have a I guess the last thing is just an updated infographic. I have it in the notes. for the rest of this year and into next year. Mario Party: The Top 100 is coming out tomorrow as well. So
I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
just so this infographic looks like it's like a European version because it has the top 100 coming out January 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my bad. That infographic is a European one. I think I was wondering why I hadn't seen that before. Also, Style Savvy is coming out on Christmas Day. I don't know if we mentioned that last week.
And interestingly enough, and I just want to take a pause there, for those of you that are really quite enthusiastic about Style Savvy, we've already received a download review copy, and we currently have one of our staff members working on it. So just as an FYI.
Yeah. Which, by the way, have we announced that yet? Has that been officially announced?
No, it hasn't officially been announced.
I know we're still waiting on the artwork to make it to christen the entire thing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll save it for the end.
Sure. Yeah. But I would also say, speaking of other games that are also released for interest sake, 3DS Kirby Battle Royale is actually out in Europe already. So we got a review copy of that, and we actually have a first impressions up on the website or up on our YouTube channel, which actually I didn't realize doesn't come out in North America until like January of 2018. So we got 2 months early on that one. So, suck it, Game Explain.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Pokemon Sun
I love
and
you
Moon,
guys.
And this is why they don't invite you to their discussions.
This is one of the reasons they didn't invite me to their Mario Odyssey discussion.
Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are also coming out next week. I know Roger has a copy of both of those already. I saw on his Instagram.
Is it next week? That's it snuck up on me.
And next week is Rocket League. And next week is Batman Telltale Games. By the way, it's priced at $50, I think.
What?
Yeah, I said on
gonna
the.
have no. There's no way.
Whoa, come at me, bro.
Is it going to have both seasons? That's my question.
I think each season is still a separate. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I'm looking on the eShop. So anyway, so there's lots coming.
It'll do
lots
2 is also coming out next week.
$40 in the
Stick
States.
It. And I guess the other thing that was announced, Stick It to the Man from Zoink Games is going to be coming November 23rd. So just guys, I mean, again, another example of like, I think everyone pushed everything into like before Odyssey and then took like 2 weeks and was like, whoa, let's just give Mario some room here, guys. Okay, he's done. Everyone else now push all of our content out. It's mad.
By the way, Justin, I think that $50 is a Canadian price.
So was I right then on the Canadian side?
Then it makes sense.
Yeah, it is $50 Canadian.
So it's like $4 American.
Another game that's out that I didn't expect is Octodad Dadliest Catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like one I think we have to review probably for the show.
Yeah. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 is also coming out the same day as Rocket League, which is another game that I was actually kind of like,
I really want that game. Now I have to decide between it and Rocket League.
That seems like a really good Christmas game, actually.
It does.
That seems like one I can wait on.
Chris White, I did say Rocket League. Back up, yo. I got you.
LA
The
Noirs
only thing I'm
next
gonna miss
week.
about the Wii U and Lego games is that there were a couple of those games that came out where you had your own screen.
Yeah.
You know, with the Lego game, you didn't have to share the screen with whoever you were playing with. So like there was like if you wanted to go over to the extreme left, the person didn't end up dragging you back or splitting the screen or whatever. And that was nice.
Yeah, that's true. That's that'll be that is one that I'm excited to hear more about. So all right. So Justin's getting
then we still have the Virtual Console for Wii U, Lords of Thunder, whatever system that was from.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so that is stuff there. Let's get into what we've been playing because Justin, I think, has some words. I don't know. He has some things to say to me personally, and I think we got to get into it.
Is there a bumper for that, or what are we doing?
Hang on. Let me try. You know what? I was messing with dials on here. Let's try it one more time. All right. There we go. That's better. So basically what happened is I was listening to something on my phone, and I have a way to listen to it through my headphones, but not have it go to the computer. That's what I had that set up. Anyway, So, what we've been playing this week, Justin, you. By the way, I just wanted at the beginning of this segment as well, and this ties into this, which is why I'd say it. Just today, a couple of days ago, I interviewed with Sean Capri for We the Gamercast, and so that is up.
As in, you were on We the Gamercast.
I was on there. You're going on there, what, in a week or two or something? I'm
going on there on Monday. I don't know when he's airing it, though, but it's going to be Monday that I'll be on.
Cool. So
that's my invitation must have got lost in the mail.
He's doing a month of Nintendo Dads. I'll have a chat with him there, Marty.
Yeah, you know what? I think Well, I think he was mainly doing Justin and I because it was returning guests, and so that might.
It was part of it.
No, I get it. I'm not.
And Canadian. You're just not.
I'm not Canadian.
It's a lot of maple syrup talk and igloos.
I can't talk bacon. Maple syrup. I just eat it.
Yeah, Tim Hortons. What's going on there, guys?
So we talked a little bit about a bunch of stuff. We talked about some mental health stuff. We talked about Mario Odyssey. We talked about Justin's review of Mario Odyssey. All sorts of stuff like that. And so yeah, good times. So having said that, Justin, what have you been playing, good sir? It's been a couple of weeks since you were here.
Yeah, so I got to stop reading this chat. It's too funny.
Cat
Robert
calls.
Says that, yeah, exactly. It is a lot of cat calls going on in the chat right now with his shirt off. I was gone last week. I was over in Paris and then Disneyland with my kids, so it was great. But I had obviously been playing Super Mario Odyssey leading up to the release of it. I got an early access code, as most of you know, and I put up my review on the site. So I've been playing Odyssey. I've been loving Odyssey. It is a game that just makes me smile. I have so much fun with it. Basically from the opening moments all the way to the end credits and past the end credits. I don't want to spoil anything for those of you that haven't got there. I was smiling the entire
spoiler cast, by the way.
Yeah, we're into a spoiler cast, so that's why I want to tread lightly here. So I had a fantastic time with it. I have loved Mario Odyssey. My kids have loved Mario Odyssey. They have loved playing it with me. They have loved just even when I'm not playing it or we're not playing it together, they are grabbing the console and playing it in handheld mode. Like it is, they were so hyped when they found out that we got early access to it. We were playing the 2-player modes. If it's hard, they're like, "Dad, I can't do this section. Can you do it?" It's just love it. I've been having so much fun with Odyssey. Hopefully you guys found that out when you saw my review on YouTube, on our website. If you haven't, go see that. But the reason we want to have this chat, and this is why my segment is called "Come at Me, Bro," is somebody might have been a little upset that I gave it an 11 out of 10. Shall we have a conversation about that, Mr. Erickson?
I just think that's more of it is not a real score.
Oh no, that's a real score. That's a real score. It's a number with another number. That's a real score, Zach.
Okay. How
are you going to tackle this one?
You're trying to fight with a therapist is all I have to say. I don't know.
A therapist with a new bumper.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So basically, I don't know. It was just funny to me. I was like, I like a 10 out of 10 is not sufficient enough, I guess.
No, it's not. It's not sufficient enough. And here's my reasoning for it. Here's why.
It's for me. It's not even a 9 out of 10. Or I mean, it is a 9 out of 10. It is not even a 10 out of 10. So
yeah. Well,
again. So that's
one of the things I would say, right? I mean, so for example, you reviewed Fire Emblem, right? Warriors, and gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right? And that was subjective to your opinion and your experience.
Yeah.
So for me as a reviewer of it, my opinion and my experience is that it's an 11 out of 10. Now here's why. But you're like, but Justin, the scale only goes to 10. That's how the numbers work, sir. Are you like, what has happened?
That is the understood. Like there is an out of 10 for a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
You're like, that's the cap. That's the top of this. It doesn't go higher. Not in Justin's world. In Justin's world, it can go higher. So an 11 out of 10 is, to me, it is not only an amazing game, but it is a revolutionary game or an evolutionary game. And
Okay.
that's why. And so
Which
other
one of
games,
those two-
other games
which
that
one of
other
those
games
two?
that I would put in that category would be Breath of the Wild, would be an 11 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Okay,
I can agree
put
with that more than
Super
Odyssey.
Mario 64 as
Yeah.
an 11 out of 10.
Okay.
I would probably put Mario 3 as an 11 out of 10.
Okay.
So what my key point there is that so a game can be amazing and good, like and like per hitting all the right notes, okay? And it can be pushing the genre forward or pushing the series forward in a way that we did not see coming. And I believe that's what Breath of the Wild did, and I believe that's what Mario Odyssey did.
So what I hear you saying,
Here we go.
So what I hear you saying is that if a game is revolutionary and blows the doors off to a point where it is like it's a game changer.
Yep.
Right? No pun intended. Basically that is the equivalent of bonus marks.
Yep.
Right? And so if this game would have been the flip side of that is that if a game is the opposite of a game changer, which is a really polished version of same old stuff.
Let's use Splatoon 2 in that example.
Out of 10. Right. Okay, sure.
Right, Splatoon 2 I think was really good. I really enjoyed it, but didn't really change anything. Didn't really change the series, didn't really change the game. It felt pretty static to me from what it was before. I got some new maps, some new weapons, new missions, blah blah blah. But to me that's like we're not moving that peg forward.
Right, but with that then having using your same logic then though, if it was a really really polished version of that without changing anything, you would be comfortable giving it a 10 out of 10.
Or a 9 out of 10 potentially.
Okay, but why not a 10 out of 10 if the revolutionary piece is the only piece missing?
If it's so I guess I'm using the current example of Splatoon 2, right?
Sure.
Where I don't feel it was that. But if it was everything, then potentially it could be a 10 out of 10. Yes. I don't feel Splatoon 2 was that. I felt Splatoon 2 was probably an 8 or 9.
Okay. Okay.
And then the other factor, which is of course completely subjective to the individual, is how much fun I had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Nintendo Dad's official score, bypassed by this entire committee, is an 11 out of 10.
Okay. And the second opinion was a 9 out of 10, which was all posted.
Which, if we end up doing
average to
the law of average, it is 10 out of 10.
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
So I absolutely adored and loved Mario Odyssey. I had such a great time with it. Now, I will say I don't think it's a perfect game. I do think there are some things that are flawed. There are some levels I did not enjoy as much as other levels, and there are other levels I was like, I'm just going to stay here for longer, much longer. So, yeah,
There's some terrible things going on in the chat right now.
I'm glad I'm not looking right now.
This is like, oh my gosh, dude. Okay. This is
So
this is people.
So I'm playing Odyssey. And this is the conversation I've been hearing everyone have is what is the game of the year? Is it Breath of the Wild? Is it Mario Odyssey? I am struggling with where I'm landing on that. And I'm really curious what Nintendo's next play is with Odyssey. And I know that we've talked about the idea that maybe there's DLC. I don't know if there is.
Oh, there's gotta be, dude. Well, you cannot tell me that you would not drop $20 to have another 4 worlds in that game.
What I'm hearing from you is not necessarily the would I spend money. I'm asking, is Nintendo doing that? Of course I would spend the money to do it. If Nintendo offered me DLC, yes, I would. But what I'm saying is I don't know if Nintendo is doing DLC.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like for me, when I'm coming back to this game of the year issue, right? Okay. There are, and again, this is, maybe this is purely up to the individual, as you were saying, Justin, with, where you fall, like enjoyment wise or whatever. But there were times in Breath of the Wild that I had to push myself to keep going. Okay. I mean, I'm going to admit it. There's times that I had to. We're how many months out from Switch launch? 6 months more,
7
right?
months, yeah.
7 months. I don't have all the shrines yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've not done it. and I'm like 10 away. And I'll pick it back up every now and then, and I'll find one, or I'll get the guide out and go hunt a couple down. But like the drive to get more moons in Odyssey is just I cannot quit. I mean I topped 500 this week, and I can't stop playing that game, and like obsessively going back and checking nooks and crannies in different worlds, and I'm I heard somebody say this, and I had to think about it for a minute, and I guess I kind of agree with it now. They said that Mario Odyssey is Nintendo's take on Banjo Kazooie, and I don't really care for Banjo Kazooie, but Mario made me like it, and I think it's just there's always going to be something about Mario is always going to be the drive for me. So it's going to be Game of the Year. Not that, and that is not saying that Breath of the Wild is bad. Well, and I think that's the camp that people are dividing into right now. Is that if you say that Breath of the Wild is Game of the Year, then Mario Odyssey you're saying is bad. And if you say Mario Odyssey is Game of the Year, then you're saying Breath of the Wild is bad. No, they're both amazing, incredible games.
And we have a year where we have 200 games sitting on the Switch right now. So if any game we consider top 5, none of them are bad.
Yeah, and that's not even considering the 3DS games, right? Like, for me, like, it's going to be like if put feet to the fire, it's probably Breath of the Wild 1, Samus Returns 2, Mario Odyssey 3. Like that's kind of where my gut sits right now, but I'm not committing to that yet. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I don't know.
And the other thing that I know that I think you, Zach, probably argue with me a little bit. I do think that one of the things about Odyssey and Breath of the Wild is there's a lot of DNA that is shared between them, right? A lot of things felt kind of comfortable or familiar. And I made the comment in our review that it's almost as if the production teams when we sat together in the cubicles next and was like, hey, that's a good idea. We should try that. But I mean, there's a lot of it that's kind of baked in there. And I agree with you, Jesse. Like, whichever one you decide to pick as your game of the year, it's probably by the smallest margin, right? It's not like a huge massive.
I could probably
blowout.
guarantee that all 4 of us are going to say both games are 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, except for Zach, he hates it. He truly hates Mario Odyssey. Believes it's a dumpster fire, and that he wants to just play Fire Emblem Warriors all day long.
He wants to play Sonic Forces.
Honestly, you know what? Like if going back to that preference thing, like if I had a choice now that I've beaten the game, and like what has more replay value for me, and like what do I enjoy, they're kind of on similar footing. Like I don't know that, but again, I enjoy those kinds of games a lot. Like I really enjoy that game. So I don't know. So
well, earlier on in the show, I looked at my profile when it says how many hours approximately you played each game. If I add up my top 5 games, we're talking 340 hours.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of content for a system for less than a year.
Yeah, but don't worry, there's no games on it, so it's fine.
Right.
So yeah, but I mean, like I've played a little bit more of it. I'm not super. I'm not crazy in love with the game like I think most people are. I think it is really just a matter of like. There's not a ton of difference between everything. What the heck was that? I thought I just heard something like crawling around behind me. That was weird. Anyway, so like I don't feel like that I'm like in the like post game, and we'll get into this more. But the post game is a tad underwhelming for me. But that's again not. It is more the quality of the content and not the quantity, because I will acknowledge that there is a lot to do. It's just stuff that I'm not super excited about doing. So anyway, like Marty, when you say the urge to keep collecting moons and keep going to do this and that and whatever, that is really rewarding and has a lot of draw for you. Like I don't experience that at all. I feel like I'm like, okay, yeah, I saw what I needed to see from it, and we go from there, I guess. But
is it because you are nothing more than a Sega carrying Sonic the Hedgehog fan, blue card carrying fan that can only collect gold coins and not collect, gold rings and not collect awesomeness? What's going on there? Yeah.
Are you trying to transition to Sonic Forces? Is that what you're trying?
What?
So moving on from that, I did actually play Sonic Forces. I drew the short straw, so to speak.
I don't know if it's a drew the short straw. We pretty much said you're the only one who could do it without me calling it a dumpster fire.
I would say more like drew the only straw.
Yeah. I'm the only person who is capable of being objective in the review of this game.
Because I know if I literally, my history with Sonic is I don't think I've ever finished the second level of any Sonic game. I play the first level and it's like I'm done.
So I've been playing Sonic Forces. It came out, when did it come out? Tuesday? And so Sonic, okay, where do I start here? So let me just think. So Sonic Forces, if you don't know what it is, it's a 3D Sonic game, and it has 3 different sections or 3 different kinds of levels, I guess. There is the modern Sonic levels, the classic Sonic levels, and the custom avatar levels. And I am here to say that this game is a really good example of why I think that the current the current way that we review, and I think that actually this may be, we've talked about having production meetings behind the scenes and stuff, but I think that this is actually a conversation that needs to be had across the board on like what makes a good review, because one thing that I think a lot of reviews have lacked in this game in particular is context. Who is this game for, right? And who is this like I think that it's one thing to give this game a 5 out of 10, but if you don't qualify what this who this game is for and who you are reviewing this game on behalf of, I think that you can send all sorts of mixed messages, right? And so and again, this is me trying to be that sort of objective reviewer, and I am able to play it myself and kind of have my own experience with it, but I'm also having the experience of watching my 7-year-old son play this game. And last Christmas break, he watched the entirety of the Sonic Boom cartoon series on Netflix in like the span of a week. I think it was like 50 episodes or something. I don't know. It was a lot. Like, he watched a ton of Sonic Boom back then. And this isn't like in the Sonic Boom universe, but he is right square in that audience of kids who like Sonic or at least are familiar enough with Sonic, versus Sonic Mania, which was clearly for like old school Sonic fans, whereas Sonic Forces, I think, is for the modern Sonic fan. It is for people who enjoy that 3D sort of thing, and it like there is a reason that Sonic Mania had 3 protagonists, right? There is like Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, and they all have their very specific their very specific sort of persona that was in those original retro games, and it's to those fans. Sonic Forces literally has probably every single character in the Sonic universe. Like, I'm not joking you when I say every single one of them, where Charmy the Bee is in there. Actually, Big the Cat, I haven't seen Big the Cat, but Silver the Hedgehog, and the day one free DLC was of Shadow the Hedgehog, right? And so there are so many of these characters in here, and they're all doing the Saturday morning cartoon voiceover sort of stuff in all of the cutscenes. And so that's who this game is for. And if that's not for you, that's fine. You don't have to play it. But that's not who this game is for. And so it doesn't bother me. The game's not great. It's not a really super tight platform. And if I have any real big criticisms about the quality of the game, I would say that the pacing is a little bit weird, especially considering that it is a very fast, it's a Sonic game, so you're going fast, but it's very, I would say that Sonic, his acceleration is weird maybe, and he starts and stops really weird, in a way that's different, from the 2D Sonic Mania sort of thing. Hang on. Wow.
It's okay. It's okay getting choked up about how bad this game is. I understand you're losing it.
Just got cracked up.
And actually, I just want to take a quick pause there. Play Some Video Games came in our chat. He said, wow, everyone looks so happy in here. Obviously, noticing how intense we look. I'm sorry. We're just really trying to pay really hard attention to what Zach is saying, that Sonic may not be a dumpster fire, but it may also be a dumpster fire. So, just really leaning in on that one. Sorry, Play Some Video Games. I apologize for how that might have looked on the screen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
Okay. So basically, like, I would say that it is not, when I say, like, Justin, what you were saying before was that when you played it, technically, like from a technical perspective, it was very buggy. Like the demo was buggy and it was hot garbage that way.
Yep.
I'm not seeing that at all in this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the finished product is not glitchy. It's not buggy. They seem to have worked out all of the bugs because I don't have any performance problems with the game, which I would say is a bonus, right? And shame on them for putting a demo out to the masses that was as buggy as it was, because that sucks and it did not represent their game well. I would say that I think you have to kind of review them individually. The three different styles. The modern Sonic is, I would say, okay, the classic Sonic, which is like the 2D sort of things. Each one of them controls differently also, which is kind of a little bit confusing. So, like, for example, modern Sonic has a homing attack, but Generations Sonic or classic Sonic does not, even though they basically look almost identical on screen. So you have to remember instead. And the thing is that classic Sonic controls differently from Sonic Mania Sonic. And so it's just like they're similar enough that it feels bad when I'm playing as Sonic Generation. That's like classic, right? Because you're like, it's like a knockoff version of Mario, where you're like, wow, you're a little bit too floaty, and like, the physics just aren't quite right, and it just feels terrible, right? Where it's, I don't want to say terrible, but it just doesn't feel like
dumpster
Sonic.
fire. I get that. Cool.
It just feels like a totally different kind of game that's just not Sonic. So Sonic Mania Sonic, though, I actually find that one is best suited for this game, and then the Avatar one is it's fine,
So let me ask you this question then, Zach. You came off of Sonic Mania happy, right? You felt good. You felt like all was right in the world of, I don't know, what is it, Green Hills, Dr. Eggman? I don't really know. You felt good about that. How does that, like, as a fan who felt good about that, and now you're coming to Sonic Forces, what do you like? The expectations surely have to be different. The experience is different, right? Like I said, the audience is different. Does this leave a good taste in your mouth or a bad taste in your mouth?
It is,
or just tasteless.
It's just what Sonic is now, right? Like I think that Sonic Mania may have given people false hope that Sega had come around to the idea that they were on the wrong track with the Sonic franchise, with the tone of the Sonic franchise and where they were going. And that, oh man, no, don't worry. Like Sonic Mania shows us that they're going back to their roots, man. And like, no, that is not what that was. That was a one-off fan service sort of thing. And Sonic Forces is a really good evolution of older 3D Sonic games. Like if Sonic Mania didn't exist, this would be like, it's like those other games, but it's fine. And I can't find myself getting super excited about this game, but I'm not like overly critical of it either. And the reason that I have such a hard time being overly critical of it is because of my son's reaction to the game. And my son, like I ask my son, every time I ask my son, like, hey, what's your favorite game on the Switch? It's always the most recent one, but the one that he played today or yesterday. But I was like, dude, which one do you like more, Mario Odyssey or Sonic Forces? And he was like, I don't really know. It's hard to choose. So
really,
like, yeah. And so for him, and
because I would think at that point you'd want to get rid of the child.
Right? But the thing is that I think that there is a certain level of mastery that he is able to get from the game. Like it's not really it's not hard at all. It's pretty simple. Like he can get the controls until later in the game. He's he's been fighting some bosses, and we had to have that anger management talk again, right? We had to be like, okay, you may need to put that controller down. But so it does ramp up a little bit, but I mean, I picked up the controller and beat the boss that he couldn't do, right? But the thing is that the tone of that game, I think, is what speaks to him more than anything. Is like, he's super excited about it. So
Tim in our chat says it best. Sounds like Sonic Forces is for us old farts. Is not for us old farts. It's for the kids. Mania is for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, just as a reference point, 2 other people in the chat would also agree that you should get rid of your child if they're debating whether it's Sonic or Mario. So that may be your demographics. I don't know for sure.
Right. And so what I would say is that, like, going back to my comment about reviewing, like, I haven't finished the game, but I feel like I've played enough that I could probably give it a score. Unless the end of this game just takes a huge dump. I would say that if I was reviewing it for adults, I would say that it's like a 6.5. If I was rating it and you're going to give it to a kid, I would say probably like an 8, right? Like it's an 8.5, right? So that's what I mean when I say the context is important. Like that is how I would rate that. Are you buying it for an adult? Then it's not that great. If you're buying it for a kid, I think they're going to love it a lot. Similar to what some of the, similar sort of thing. Whereas, like, if you're buying a Lego game for a kid, like this Marvel superhero game that's coming out, wouldn't be surprised if that's like a 9 out of 10 for kids, but like a 7 for adults. You know what I mean? So there are some games that are great for adults and some that aren't, and this is not one of those.
Cool.
Awesome. I guess my issue with like the current state of 3D Sonic is, like, you remember when there's this, and I've seen this. It's not an original argument, so I'm not coming up with this on my own. It's just something that struck me, and I've always loved it. Is if you've ever extensively watched The Simpsons, there's an old episode of it where they're thinking about adding a character to Itchy and Scratchy, and it's Poochie, the dog, the rapping dog, and they get Homer to voice him. And so, like, at the very beginning, like, it seems like a really good idea, and then, like, Poochie tanks, and it's about to take Itchy and Scratchy down with it. And so they have this final episode where Poochie's standing there, and he's like, I don't even think it's Homer's voice anymore. He's like, sorry, kids, I have to go home to space. And then it's like, they make this really crappy, like, rocket ship sound effect, and he flies into the sky, and then it's like a ripped cell of animation, and it said, and then Poochie died. And, like, that's the impression I get of modern day Sonic. Like, it's like they're trying to be extreme and cool and cutting edge, and it just doesn't work. Like, it's like the fundamental problem that I have with it is not that the game, like, because I mean, it sounds to me like the game plays fine, but the fundamental problem I have with it is that it, like, they lost the plot. They kind of forgot where they were.
The thing is that the plot of this one is actually there is more plot to it. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. It's a Sonic it's like a Sonic Boom sort of. Well, Sonic Boom was a little bit over the top crazy, like, with weirdness, but, like, it's a classic sort of, like, anime type plot, right? The thing is like, it's that huge cast of characters, especially in this one, where, I kid you not, there is literally a cutscene that I just went through, that it was literally like an army of robots and then an army of animals, and it's literally like all of the Sonic characters that have ever existed that are all kind of lined up together, and you've got, like, the weird alligator guy and the girl one with the hammer and all that stuff. The one thing I will say about that I didn't really mention was the character creator. I really am impressed with it, actually. Like, as far as the character customization.
I saw your tweet the other day, and the name. How would you name your character?
Yeah. Well, you actually can't name your character at all. They just refer with. They either refer to you as Rookie or Buddy, and so, like, in all of the voiceover stuff, you don't actually
named him yourself just out of game.
Oh yeah, no, I had the bird, and his name was Pecker, right? Because he's a bird, and bird Pecker, right? So, but, like, this is him right here. Like, he's like this dude that's got, like, little robot arms and stuff. Here, if I can turn him a little. So, like, he's a bird, He has a double jump, which is why I picked a bird. And you know, it's not bad, but like you can customize like the gloves, footwear, body wear, the body suit, all that stuff. And it's actually the thing is that once you commit to what kind of animal you want, there's no going back. So, which for a kid's game, you know, for like my son immediately was like, Dad, you have 3 accounts on this Switch. Why don't I have 3 accounts? Because he wanted to go in and make more of these characters. He picked a bear, and then he wanted to go back and make a wolf and make, you know, whatever, but he couldn't change that at all. There was no option. I don't know if maybe after you beat the game, if there's an option to go and make another character or something. But yeah, so he was, but everything else, like you can change the fur color again and all that stuff. So he really liked it.
Can I ask this question, Zach?
Yeah.
Does your son enjoy playing this or Super Sports Beat more?
Definitely this. Absolutely.
Yeah. How have you been doing at playing that Super Sports Beat?
Yeah, good transition, Justin. I like it. Very subtle. Super Beat Sports, I talked about it a little bit last week. I've played it a little bit more this week as well. And I really, really like this game. In fact, Josh Thomas from Nintendo Beyond, actually, on his series that he does of The Fold, him and Nick played this. His Nick, not my Nick. You know. Anyway,
that would be amusing.
But could we have Josh and your Nick?
I'm sure
together somehow. That'd be awesome.
It would be nonsense. Yeah. So he would be. Did he name the bear Uncle Justin? Is what Chris White just asked. By the way, he should have. I think that's the new official name. So he. Yeah, it was. It's a fun game. It's really quirky. It's made by the same people as Rock Band, and I can definitely feel that DNA in this game, where you've got that sort of like they're throwing balls at you or whatever, like baseballs and stuff. Justin, did you ever play Rusty's Real Deal Baseball on the 3DS?
I think I played it like once or twice. I remember you highly recommend. I think I did download it, but it just didn't catch my fancy at the time. I was doing other things.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, but they've kind of got the lanes similar to.
That's the game where you literally haggled the price down for DLC, right?
Oh yeah, and where they're like, hey, you can buy this mini game for $5, and you're like, nah, how about I give you a donut instead, right? And and then the guy's just like, oh, but I need to pay my bills, and I was like, I don't know, and he's like, oh, fine, and like it's the most depressing mini game that involves real money that I've ever played. It was so weird.
The economics of life.
You're getting a game for cheaper, but also the game actively guilt trips you into when you do that. So anyway, that is not this game though. So Super Beat Sports is really fun. I think the thing that is shocking to me is that the single player is actually really fun. So it has a bunch of like I'll show this again because this is my super high tech way of showing this off. I haven't played a ton of this particular mode, but so you can see there are. So this is hang on, I gotta open Skype again. See, this makes for great audio.
Yeah.
So you can see there's 3 rows and 9 tiers of levels, for each mode, and there are 5 modes. So
nice.
There's quite a few levels. Plus there are different levels for the multiplayer modes. It's really fun. I'd say it's one of my favorite games on the eShop right now. Actually.
Nice. So definitely a highly recommend for you for this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And did you get a chance to play some more with Nick about it, or was he was done with you?
Yeah, actually, we played a 4-player mode, a 4-player thing with me and the kids and my wife, and there's some 4-player modes as well. Specifically, there's one called Rhythm Racket, which is kind of like table hockey almost. Where you would basically, you've got like the sliders or whatever, and it's all rhythm based too. It's really fun. So I would definitely recommend that.
Big thanks to Harmonix for actually sending us a code for that as well. So thank you.
Yeah, that's really fun.
And what was the other one that you've been playing?
Morph-Fight.
Morph-Fight. That looks weird. It looks like No Man's Sky meets Metroid. What is that about?
So
or did I just bury the lead?
Is that like less fight but more?
Yeah, no, morph like morphing,
okay.
Morphin power. So the Morph-Fight is like Morphight is a game that it's a first-person exploration game. Yeah, it is actually
Power Rangers. I understand.
Yeah, so it's like a morphing element sort of thing. Morphine.
I don't understand morphine.
So Morphight is it's a first-person shooter exploration game, and so basically the gist of the game is that you explore the galaxy, you go to different star systems, and so far in playing it, the majority of what I've been doing is you go to a planet, scan a bunch of life forms and stuff like that, and and do a lot of exploring. You manage your fuel to go from planet to planet or from star to system, and so you kind of have to system hop and refuel at different places. I have not played No Man's Sky, but it seems like that's kind of the gist of No Man's Sky, is that you are exploring different worlds and collecting resources, and then the story in this at least kind of unfolds as you play it and explore. So like in one of the early planets, you are exploring, and all of a sudden this element known as morphite, which is thought to have been like super rare and maybe even doesn't exist anymore, like you stumble across some of it, and miraculously it turns into a weapon that you can use, right? And then you keep going on your journey. And so that's the gist of that game. It's fun. I'm trying to remember how much it is on the eShop, but it's it's a pretty good.
It's $15 US. I was just checking that right now, and it's done by I had it right here a second ago because I wanted to give a big shout out to the developer or the publisher of the game, which is Blowfish Studios. So again, they were kind enough to send us a review copy for that as well. So it's 15 on the US eShop. I apologize, that's 20 on the eShop. 20 on the US eShop. So check your country listings for that as well.
Yeah.
So would you recommend this one? Like, if it looks, I mean, obviously it's not necessarily a family 2-player, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Like, if you're looking for like a, similar to like No Man's Sky, if you really like that, then that might be it. I don't know. It didn't super grab me. I'm looking at some of the like reviews and stuff like that, and it's looking like on Steam it has an average review of like 7 out of 10, 3.5 stars, that kind of thing. That sounds about consistent with what my experience has been so far. Sure. It hasn't knocked my socks off, but if this is the kind of game that you really enjoy, I would say that the art style as well is, for me, it's stylistic and cool, but also like it kind of lacks a little bit of that character too, because the character faces, there is no face, and so it's hard to like. It's very geometric.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
very polygon, cool. Right?
Yeah, it's a really cool stylistic choice. But it also, when you do that, it also leaves something to be, you're leaving some detail.
Even some of the color palette a little bit, right? There's some neons.
The color palette is something that I'm hoping changes a little bit, but even as I kind of gameplay trailer, lots of teals and purples and pinks and maybe some oranges mixed in there. Not a lot of variety in the color palette necessarily, and so again, that's something that's, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of like a cool jaunt, so to speak, if you're looking for something like that. But if you're looking for like the next big thing, I don't think that's what this is either. So
yeah, it's again, we talked about it earlier, but it's a byproduct of how many games are out there right now, right? Like this would probably be a game I was like, yeah, I definitely want to pick this up, but I'm like, I got a lot of other games that come out almost daily that are on my list that it can get buried underneath everything else. So, but yeah, this may be a game that everyone else wants to check out.
Yeah. So that's that's also.
Yeah, you've been busy, man. We've been assigning you a lot of work.
Yeah. So that's basically what I've been playing. So anyway, what about you, Justin? Have you been playing anything else or just Mario?
Just Mario, but I would say that we have been playing at our house party golf. Party golf? That's the one, right? Sure. I want to make sure I got that right. Party golf. Yeah. You know what? We've had a really good time with it. But interestingly enough, my youngest daughter really loves party golf. And just by herself. Like, she just likes to take the Switch, and 9 times out of 10 when she's playing a game right now, it's just party golf by herself.
Wow, that's cool.
A couple nights ago, I was upstairs doing some extra work after work, like some overtime, and my wife sends me a message, and she's like, so Morgan's been playing party golf for like 2 hours straight, just by herself. So she really, really loves it, and she's getting really good. Like, she's getting holes in one really quickly, and I think she loves like the simplicity. I think it's also the bright colors of it, and obviously the rewards and fun. So, yeah, I'd recommend party golf. Like, I know that Marty, you recommended it a couple weeks ago when we all got the review codes in. But yeah, it's a really good time. Like, I was thinking about it recently, like, what's my favorite multiplayer game on the Switch right now with families, and this is getting pretty close to it. So yeah, really well done. Check out Party Golf if you have not already done it. Make sure you check it out. So that's
I wish I lived in your house, because I live in the alternate reality where my wife hates this game.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know if we just played it on an off night and that's been what formed her opinion, but I love it. My son loves it. My daughter likes it. I think she tolerates it, but my wife is like, please, God, can we not play party golf? Yeah. And I don't know, like, I think she's just bad at it.
It does take a little bit, and there's a lot going on, especially like on the 8-player crazy kind of mode going on there.
Oh yeah, see, we don't play that.
Yeah,
there's a couple of things like I've found that I have some issues with that game, specifically in that, like there's just some weird control issues going on in that game. Mm-hmm. You know, like, as far as I forget how we played it. If we played it all split Joy-Con or if we, I think I've only played it with a Pro controller, but
okay.
You know, like it's a little confusing, but like the just the sheer amount of modes, you know, play that game in, it keeps you coming back to it, because it's like, I've never tried that one, I don't think, you know. So you go try out banana mode, or your ball is a banana.
Yeah, the kids had some fun with those ones as well, so that's been good.
My son's favorite so far is called Animal Kingdom, where all the balls are different animals and they all stick together if they touch. I don't know why they do that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. So I've enjoyed it. But Marty, what have you been playing? Anything?
I've been playing Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like that it's consumed my life. I've not really played anything but Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Like I said, 500 and I think it's 501 moons now. So
nice job.
Nice job. I'm kind of committed to 100%ing this game.
Nice. So you've gone to, well, I guess I don't want to go to spoilers, so we'll just kind of stay right there. So, okay, cool. So
let me just say this. I've gone everywhere there is to go.
Okay.
As far as I know.
That's my, I guess that's the question I was trying to get at without being.
I've gone everywhere there is to go.
Yeah.
Cool. In the words of the famous theologian Johnny Cash, I've been everywhere, man.
Everywhere. Nice. I like it. Nice.
By the way,
go ahead, Zach.
Point out, the DLC for Snipper Clips is now available.
Cool.
Because it is past midnight on Friday. So also
because it's because we started on Thursday and now it's Friday.
And also Doom is now available on the eShop as well. So,
nice.
And that game,
Doom.
That
we'll
game
see how distracted this whole group gets real fast.
That game is 21 gigabytes.
Oh, jeez. Nintendo's really got to.
That's not the multiplayer. That's just the single player.
Nintendo really has to share how to compress.
I don't think they have any incentive to do that. I
know they don't, but they should. I don't know. That's my rant there. I do want to say something though. I want to take a quick pause here, Marty, because you are obviously doing your Extra Life stream right now. Tons of games you're gonna be playing. Quick Extra Life update for those of you that don't know, Marty. Since we've started this stream, we've been pulling in the money. Not only take shirts off, but we are now at our team goal of. Our team goal as an FYI is $1,750. As of right now, we are at $981.
Yeah.
Over this last hour and a bit, we have got a lot of donations in there. As a kind of a thing, I would love to see if we could crack that $1,000 before the end of today's show. So if you guys are thinking about
$9 donation.
No, I have $981, so $19.
No, I'm showing $991.
Oh, really? Interesting. So mine just hasn't refreshed. I apologize then. You are more accurate than I am. So guys,
the only reason was I just refreshed.
Oh, okay.
Justin will take his pants off at $1,000. He won't
Nope.
show it. He won't show it. He will show his pants on camera, but he will not show his underwear.
Yeah.
That is
for $1,000. For $1,000, we will have a bonus episode uploaded on our YouTube channel. How to make tea with Justin Massey.
Yeah, absolutely. And shirt optional. We don't know what's going on. You never know. Is there hair back here? We don't know, but you might find out. Tune in more for Nintendo Dad.
$9, folks. Come on. $9.
I feel like there's boundaries that are being crossed that
we may get kicked off of YouTube for.
No, well, listen, if there are like game streamers who show off cleavage, then we should be allowed to show off.
So am I. What do you want from me right now? Just as a point of reference, the Mega Dads raised $1,030. So I still want to beat the Mega Dads, no matter what.
So if somebody could give a $39 or $40 donation right now, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. And then I can just send a gift. Then we should just send me a GIF of me dancing like this to John and Adam. That's all we need to do.
You got to get the what you had going on earlier.
Couple of those.
There you go.
Like that. I like that a lot. You're welcome. That's for you, live people. It's cold in here. I'm not gonna lie. It's really cold. Jesse, what have you been playing, sir? Sorry, that was a bit of a segue for the.
Primarily just Odyssey. Up until I have been to everywhere except for the last location, and but I have collected over 620 moons.
Wow.
Nice. Okay. Wow. Good for you. 620. That's incredible. So, you've been enjoying Odyssey, obviously.
Yeah, and I don't think I am going to be the dedicated 100%er like Marty said he is, because there are some things in there I'm like, I don't think I'll ever do this one.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to hit at least 700 and say I did that much, and then I might go through with a walkthrough and try to scrape some of the ones that I missed. But I highly doubt I'm going to get all of them.
Yeah,
there's something like 880 or something.
I think the last 100 moons you just buy from the store.
Yeah,
right. You can get up to 999, but I'm talking about without buying. With only buying one moon per world. I think there's around 880.
Yeah. Fair play to Place in Video Games, who just said in the chat, but Princess Peach gives you a golden turd. So that's fair play to you, sir. Well done.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you've been playing, Jesse?
I did play the Pixel Lines DX a little bit. So, we mentioned that earlier in the game updates that they added the 100 extra puzzles.
Yep.
So I played through the Christmas ones, and I went back and tried to solve one of the 128 by 128s, and those take for freaking ever.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Have you also been playing a chess game?
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I did I played it for about an hour. There was we got a review code. Trying to find the name of the game. Chess Ultra, maybe.
Yes, Chess Ultra from our friends over at Ripstone.
Yeah, so I actually did a live stream on that, and it was. Yeah, I'm not much of a chess player. When I was a kid, I thought it was good. I either has gotten worse in my old age, or I was had thought more of myself.
Wow,
way to be humble.
Because I am horrible.
Okay.
So if you've never played chess before, it's got a really good tutorial teaching you everything you need to know. So I'm going through the tutorial and I'm like, okay, yeah. But near the end of it, it covered some things that I either knew about but forgot, or some things that I've never known. And then it's got a standard, play a game against an AI. There's I think 10 different levels. I started on the easiest level, and it was the sloppiest win I've ever had. I should have lost that game, but I somehow managed to squeak one through. And of all the games I played that night, that was the only game I did win.
Nice.
Okay. I did bump it up a level and just got handed to me. I went back down to the easy level and I lost 2 more times. Then I decided to try to go online and I got paired off with someone who was ranked lower than me, but still lost that. So our ranks pretty much inverted.
Okay. So you can play online then?
Yes.
So this just in, our current team total is now $1,041.
Yay!
Yay! Well done. Well done.
Look at there.
Well, awesome.
So, does that mean your shirt goes back on?
No, that's absolutely not what it means. It means we have bed music for the rest of the show.
Oh boy. I have a feeling that when I played online.
All right. Thank you for that. So the person who made the GIF of me, by the way, of me doing my weird waddle dance, I expect that GIF of Justin forever.
Yeah, I made that.
Yeah, if we could somehow clip that out, at least kind of the arm swing, kind of dance, and just put over top of that, suck it, Mega Dads. I would love to. Yeah.
This call to the more creative members of our community. Let's make it happen.
If you are not a irregular watcher of the video version of this show, now is the time.
Make the switch.
Yeah, go to 1 hour 35 and see what nightmare just happened.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Wow.
All for the kids. All for the kids. But in all seriousness, though, I think Callow, you made that donation to get us over that. Guys, thank you so much. Like this, we're having fun. We're just kind of being fools here. But in all honesty, guys, that was tremendous. Thank you so much. That is a huge help to the Extra Life campaign, to the Miracle Network, guys. Thank you. We thank you. That's all I can say is thank you.
If you had sat here and told me like even 2 weeks ago, hey Marty, your goal's 250 and you're going to be close to 500 before you're 12 hours into the campaign, I would have told you were a liar.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I think this is a point where we say again, we have the best supporters and we have the best fans. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
And with that being said, and for those of you that might be like, oh well, okay, then I don't need to donate. We still have lots of room. We have a goal of 1,750. Yes. Please consider donating, obviously, and hopefully, if you like dancing gifs of me with my shirt off, you throw me a number and we'll see what we can do here. Someone did say waxing. I'm gonna just throw this out as a spoiler alert. I have been waxed before.
Oh my gosh.
That is a different story altogether.
All right, we're gonna make another bargain. Here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. If we can make it to what are we sitting at right now, team? Zach?
$1,041.
$1,041. If we make it to $1,100, we're gonna get story time with Uncle Justin.
Yeah.
The day that I got waxed.
Yeah.
Does he agree to this?
I will, and I will also post the photos that I have from it. Oh no, I don't have those photos available with me because they're in my house. But I will tell you the story about the time I got waxed.
You can draw them.
Yeah,
your girls will draw them.
Yeah. Maybe we'll. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely. And also, I'm just putting this out there. If we can get an N and a D, I don't know how dense your chest hair is, but if we can get an N and a D waxed into your pecs, that would be amazing. I don't know if that.
It's all for the show, ladies.
Yeah.
All for the show.
Yeah. All right. So
You're welcome.
That's our $2,000 goal.
Brazilian wax. No.
All right. So Jesse, let's talk about chess a little bit more.
Back to chess.
Chest?
Not with a T, with 2 S's.
This is completely off the rails. We're so sorry.
I don't even know anymore.
Oh man,
this is gonna
episode 154, the final episode of Nintendo Dads.
Banned.
Okay, so I have a feeling when I played tried to play multiplayer. I don't know if I was playing with I don't know if the other person that I was playing with also had a Switch, or if I was playing on someone with another another platform. It took like 5 minutes to get a game going, so I don't think a lot of people are playing this game.
Does this allow multi-platform play?
I don't know, but
I'm on their website. I'm on their page
when I looked
right
at
now.
a ranking list, it only showed me with a Switch, and everyone else had more of a generic symbol. So either yes or it doesn't give us that information.
So just looking at their website, actually, or not their website, but actually Nintendo's website, and I don't know if maybe Jesse, you can provide insight to this too. It actually says, and play online or online multiplayer with ELO ranking system.
Electric Light Orchestra is what that is.
That is not what it is.
I would have been like, okay, sure, moving on, Zach.
I don't 100% know what it is, but I think that's like the official globally, internationally recognized ranking system.
For chess?
For chess. Or like if you're over, if you're over this amount, you're considered a grandmaster. Okay. And actually, the game tells you, when you pick your 10 AIs to play against, it tells you, its rank, like grandmaster is the highest, and its ELO ranking. So you're able to get a feel for where it is. When you start at 1200, you win games, it goes up. You lose games, it goes down. I think I'm at like 1050 now out of my 4 or 5 losses.
Mm-hmm.
John Blanco, by the way, in the chat says ELO is an official rating calculation for judging a player's ability. So this seems like a very this is a very hardcore chess players type of chess game.
It's legit. If you're into chess games, this is a good game.
Okay.
If you're not into chess, you won't want anything to do with it, because that's what it is. It's a chess game.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots too, and it seems like there's some pretty sweet looking different chess sets. You're able to pick the room you're in. With good 3D render, and you have different styles of chess pieces and different materials they're made out of. So you can pick your traditional, $1 Walmart plastic chess set pieces, or more elaborate ones made out of, steel and iron and things like that. Right.
Very cool.
Right. So then they have a puzzles section. Here's a board. It's one move to checkmate. Find it. They have a bunch of 1 move puzzles and 2 moves puzzles, and I'm lousy at those. So I didn't even. I tried 1 or 2, and it said, okay, next, move on. And there's a section where you can create a tournament. Okay, going back. When you pick a game online, you're able to pick a random person. You have access to your friends list, or it keeps a list of your most recent people you played against. So if you played a few people from online, they'll come up in your recents. So you're able to set up a tournament. So I haven't done it, so I'm not sure exactly how it's run. I'm presuming that multiple games will be run simultaneously, and then just bracket style the winners move on, or double elimination. I'm not sure how it works, but it'll set up the grid for you, and then just keep playing it until there's a winner. You're able to do that against I think friends only. I don't know if you can set up a. I only looked at the function once, and this was 2 weeks ago. But then they also show a specific tournament that had 128 players, and you're able to go through and see. You can watch every play of every game if you want.
Nice.
So 127 games of chess you have access to.
So essentially, I guess what I'm hearing from you there, Jesse, is that if you're a chess fan, this is probably right up your alley. If you enjoy mobile chess, probably fits quite well, and this is probably already on your radar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
With 10 levels going up to Grandmaster, I'm sure no matter what level you are, you'll find a challenge.
Nice.
I had a challenge at the basic rookie level.
Yeah. So it also sounds like maybe if your kids are interested in chess, or they're getting into it, and that's something you want to maybe get them into, this may be a good learning opportunity for them as well.
Yeah. It's a great tutorial. It even for someone has known how to play chess for 40 years. It seems learning how to move a king and move a queen, it seemed redundant, but just knowing that that's there, I can hand it to anybody, and in 15 minutes, he'll know enough to muddle through a game.
Two other way. Nice. Beauty. Cool. All right. Anything else we've been playing, guys? And also big thanks to our friends over at Ripstone for giving us that one. My wife just replied to our comment on Twitter saying people should probably pay him to put his shirt back on.
No way. Nope. There's too that they cannot afford.
Wow.
Yeah, that cuts deep.
You know what
That's
though?
real deep, hun.
You know what I bet is? It's that she just doesn't like to share. Is what
that could be. That could be. Yeah, people may pay to have him keep his shirt on. LOL. Well, thank you, Jody Masson. That's very kind of you.
Hey, you know what though?
Too much man here for her. That's the challenge. Yeah. All right, let's jump into some mail. Or anyway, yeah.
Let's do it. All right, and of course, the mailbag is brought to you by OneUpBox.com. Yeah, that's the one. I remembered. OneUpBox.com, of course, your favorite geeky box coming to you every single month. Use the code NintendoDads for $3 off your first month. And they're awesome. They have been a longtime supporter of the show. And of course, if you use that code, then you are also getting... you are also helping us out as well. So awesome. Thank you to OneUpBox.com. All right. So given how long this show has already gone, do we have anything that we really want to cover today?
I think we have one that maybe we want to cover because it actually leads into what your conversation was last week, Zach. So I think there is some importance there.
Okay, sure.
And get your bumper ready.
Oh yeah,
okay. So maybe I'll start off with a question, then get your new bumper ready. So,
all right,
Sam asks, excuse me, losing my voice. Sam asks, hey Nintendo Dads, first off, thanks for making great, amazing content. You guys have made gaming fun again for me. So Sam, thank you for that. My question comes as a follow-up from your previous discussion on video games and anger. What are your feelings on video games and depression? Do you feel like there is any correlation? Can video games trigger forms of depression? Or on the other hand, can video games aid depression? I've used video games as a coping mechanism of sorts in the past, and I recently began wondering if having them as an escape may not be the best choice for me. Again, thanks to the amazing content, anonymous fan and supporter. Oh, that was anonymous. My bad.
That's all you said.
And aspiring patron. But sorry about that, actually. I didn't realize that was anonymous. Sorry. So, Zach, let's throw this one to you. You've got a bumper for this. Go for it.
So I have a new bumper here, and of course, this is important at any time. So here we have this.
The following is for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you need help, always consult a licensed mental health professional.
All right. So that's an important disclaimer, of course. My son had no idea what any of those words meant, but well, good on him and his anyways. So, having said that, depression and video games. So, I don't know. I'm actually interested. Justin, what do you think? Like, I think this is always interesting before I kind of jump in on this. Like, what are your thoughts on this?
Can video games cause depression?
Well, yeah, like I think there's two different questions, right? There's can they cause them, or I guess.
Sure, really, I guess. I guess there could be a couple things that could do it. So, and this actually builds a little bit of the conversation I was listening to when you and Sean were talking on the show as well about coping and also and I just want to take a pause here. By the way, Zach, you've been doing a great job with your kind of therapy sessions over the last several episodes here. So I think you're doing a lot of really great work. So well done. That's the only praise I'm going to give you. But
I'll take what I can get.
You take what you can get, right? But what I would say is I think when you may be already depressed or having challenges in your life, to play a video game and maybe not do good at it or fail at it or struggle with it and have anger, that may just build into or just add upon your depression or frustration, saying like, I'm not good at this and I'm not good at video games, or I can't get this, and become more frustrating. So it could do that. So I think it could actually build into it or build on it. And I think also when you're thinking about depression, it may also allow a little bit of escapism. Right, so maybe able to allow you to cope with it. I think those times when you have mental challenges or stress and are depressed, to be able to take a game and hopefully a game that's positive in some way, right, may allow you the opportunity to escape for a bit, or maybe also what's the word when you project maybe some of your frustrations or depressions upon something in the game that, I'm going to use an example like Doom is a first-person shooter coming out, obviously. Maybe imagining that your challenge or the frustration or the depression that you're suffering is the person that you're shooting in some way to try and mentally cope with that. I'm not a trained psychiatrist in any way. I'm just a fat guy with no shirt dancing on camera. So those are only my opinions as I would see it. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So like to go along with that, I would say for sure I think the big thing that stands out for me is at the very end here. He says, I've used games as a coping mechanism of sorts in the past, and I recently began wondering if having them as an escape may not be the best choice for me. That for me is definitely the key point there, right? Whereas like I began wondering if this is something that's not the best choice. That for me is like, again, like this is the kind of conversation that you would have with your therapist or with somebody like that. And if you can't, if you don't have a therapist and it's not within your means to be able to do that, even just having this kind of conversation with somebody who you trust, a friend or a family member that you can actually have these kinds of conversations with, I think is really valuable. But I would just ask, what's that about? Like, what is that? What are the thoughts behind that? Because ultimately, I would say that the video games are just like any other hobby where they can be really positive. And I've heard all sorts of stories about how video games got me through hard times and how they served, I think it's important to ask, what is that place? Where is that place of what role do video games play in your life? And I think for two things, like it may just be like a good hobby where it uplifts your spirits and, brings some positivity into your life. But my question would be like the big thing where it becomes maybe depression is one of the big symptoms of depression is what you call like withdrawing socially or avoidance type behavior. And are you avoiding your problems by playing video games? And if that's the case, I would say that's where it's not necessarily the video games that are the problem. It's the fact that you're avoiding your problems that's the problem, if that makes sense. And so that's where I think that it's very much an important piece to consider why that would be the case, that that feeling is there. Having said that, like video games can be really helpful in a whole lot of ways, right? I remember when I was 16 years old, I had my hip pinned, of all things, because I had a slipped growth plate and I had a bunch of time being on bed rest, and I had a lot of video game time at that point, and it helped me get through it. So it really depends on the context of what's going on. But yeah, I don't know, like Marty or Jesse, I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on that. Like, what do you?
No, I mean, I think I think you hit the nail on the head. I think there is so much in our life that is, and I think I may have said this a couple weeks ago when we talked about a similar issue. There's so much of our life that the word balance is so important in, right? If you feel like something is taking you down a place you don't want to go, then that means the balance needs to swing back to the other side. On the other hand, if the only time that you're not depressed is when you're playing video games, then the balance needs to swing back to the other side as well. You need there's an unhealthy balance there. I think that I was hearing this week. I was on a business trip the first part of this week, and a guy who, actually a filmmaker, was sharing with us some statistics that he's familiar with. The average teenager today has 250 friends on social media, on any given social media account. That's average, right? Also statistically, since the 1960s, the amount of people, this is just via surveys, the amount of people a person can depend on in a time of crisis has been declining.
I believe it.
Okay. Like statistically. if you add those two things up, and then you also add in the fact that we don't communicate really any longer by, face-to-face conversation a lot or anything like that, what you get is that we have, like, this generation of teenagers is the most connected generation of teenagers, but also they are the loneliest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that whether we like to admit it or not, video games feeds into that a lot because, you can be connected, quote unquote, and sit in your room by yourself for hours playing Call of Duty. And I'm just picking on that one. Play Splatoon 2, play Mario Kart, play whatever, online. You're connected, but not really. And so I think that it's important that, if depression is something that you struggle with, that you don't replace meaningful connection with people with simulated connection. And I think that applies to the way that we play games too. I think it's just important for us to remember that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not sitting here. You can correct me if you want to, because I'm not.
No,
I don't have a degree. I don't have a degree.
Absolutely.
But when I hear this,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
When I hear this question, I think about that most of the time for me, when I've had a bad day or when something has happened, video games pull me in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm able to enter a world, or I'm able to forget about the fact that I left my iPad sitting on top of my car yesterday and drove off and found it in the middle of the road. True story.
Oh, that's such a sad story.
True story.
Oh, that's
the one I just got in June. It's totally happened.
And it costs about half the price of the full unit just to get it repaired.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. We're not going to talk about it because it makes me depressed. So I went and played some video games and I felt better. I don't know that a video game has ever made me depressed, but I will say there's video games that made me feel strong emotions of sadness before.
Yeah,
and that's I think by intent, right? Like in that sense.
Yeah, I kind of have a story, kind of similar to the last week's story, where how, like if in your youth you played a game and it made you happy. So if you go back and continue to play that game, it gives you happy nostalgia. I've got that too. Everyone's got that. But there are a few games that I played when I was in the low time in my life. So if I ever play that game again or games similar to it, I have that negative nostalgia, if that's a thing. Yeah. So playing those games brings back the memories, and I'm like, oh, this feels like crap. So again, similar to, I don't play games that make me angry. I try to not play those games that make me sad. So that nostalgia works both ways.
Yeah. I the other thing that I would add to what you're saying, I wouldn't necessarily say that that video games can give you depression. Like I don't think that as far as like that being a primary sort of symptom of playing video games is that you get depression. However, having said that, sleep deprivation can definitely cause significant issues with your mood, right? Like if depression is something that you're struggling with, sleep is really important, right? And sleep is something that people with depression already have difficulties with. And so, staying up until 3-4 in the morning, or something like that, playing video games, that definitely can be something that can impact your mental health for sure. And so it's not necessarily that it's the video games that is causing that, but it's the video games are causing you to stay up late, which then in turn rob you of sleep and make your all sorts of things happen, right? And so that's something that is very often overlooked in just mental health in general is your sleep quality and how many hours of sleep do you get in a night. And I would say if you're not getting at least 7 hours of sleep per night, you are not getting enough. And I would say that there are some people who get more and some people who need less, but on average it's about 7 hours. And so that's the other thing that I would add to that. But I actually would totally back up everything that Marty said too. So
Chris White's reply was staying up until 3 a.m. looking at a shirtless Justin is the only cure for true depression.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris White.
And thanks to Kahlo for the quite possibly the best GIF on the internet that was tweeted out.
Yeah.
Did you already make that GIF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, I didn't. Right. Well, what am I doing? I mean,
I've retweeted it off the Nintendo Dance account. Great question, by the way, that was brought in. Let's see what we got to do to wrap this thing up, eh?
Yeah. So as I'm pulling up the so huge thanks again. If you guys want to email us the show, email the show. Not you can email us a copy of the show if you want. That's fine. We have one already though, but we appreciate it if you want to. But having said that, nintendodads@gmail.com. What do we got going on in the next couple of weeks here that we need to be aware of?
Sure. I'll plug something right now, actually. So for those of you that are in the Ireland area or UK area, I will be over at Galway at Gamerfest. I'm actually leaving later tonight, heading up there. I'll be there Saturday. I'll actually be there with good friend of the show, Barry Dunn from Nintendo Impact Gaming. So if you are in Ireland and want to stop by Gamerfest in Galway, shoot us a DM and I will be there and I'll be happy to sign anything or meet with you and just hang out. And yeah, so I'll be there. So check that out if you want to.
Right on. Very cool. And huge thanks. Huge thanks to our, those people who have donated today. You guys are amazing. We are well on our way to reaching our goal. So huge thanks to everybody so far. If you're not, consider the children, right? Marty, you've got some stuff going on all the way until tomorrow.
6 p.m.
Right
6
on.
p.m. today. When I will go and absolutely crash later on.
Speaking of sleep
deprivation.
So
just for those who are watching or going to be listening early in the morning, just come on over to YouTube and check out the stream. I'm going to leave straight from here and go redo the stream. I'm going to start back with Super Mario 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to play completely through. And then we're going to move over to the Switch, maybe do some Mario Odyssey. I don't know. My stream got kind of messed up earlier because of timing. But I may switch it up and do some different games. I've had some ideas. If there's something you want to see me play and see me talk about, here's what I've got. I've got an NES Classic that has several games on it, and an SNES Classic that has several games on it, and they might be there. I might play it if you'll tweet the Nintendo Dads channel, #MartyPlay. Marty plays. Nice. Let's do that. Let's do Marty plays Donkey Kong Country. I'll play Donkey Kong Country.
Nice.
Justin's already typing it in.
Star Fox 2.
All day long.
I've not actually even launched Star Fox 2 on my Super Nintendo Classic.
What?
Nope.
Oh, dude, no, that's good. I like it.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm afraid to play it or what. I don't know.
Face your fears, Marty.
Do it.
All right. Very cool. And of course, we've got a Mario Odyssey thing coming up, as well as Retro Rewind. What are we doing next week? Metroid Prime?
Yeah, yep. You guys are.
And we are also going to be discussing, we will also release the new and improved Retro Rewind vote, which will go up as well at that time as well. I've said it 3 times. As well. So, having said all of that, I will bring this up here. And if you have loved the show, of course, thank you. Of course, go over to patreon.com/NintendoDads. Support the show for as little as $1 a month. And you too can make this nonsense keep going all through the ages. Thank you, of course, to all of our patrons. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave and John. You guys are amazing. And if you guys want to follow us on all the social medias, you can do so, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at NintendoDads. If you want to email us, you can do so, nintendodads@gmail.com. If you want to watch our videos, you can do so on YouTube. Look for Nintendo Dads. You will find us. Of course, you can also follow our Twitch streams, Nintendo Dads. That's where Marty's doing his extra live stream. If you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Huge thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show, as well as to both Carter Johnson and Adam Leonard for their amazing artwork. And, of course, if you want to change the world, which I know you do, go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, written reviews are even better. And, of course, if you want to subscribe, you can do so on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and, of course, VGTribune.com. For me, for Justin, for Jesse, and for Marty, we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Wobble Puffet? Wobble Buffet?
Yep.